Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Courtney if you've never been here before. Today I wanted to make a video all about astrology. I know a lot of people automatically think of their sun sign or their horoscopes that they get in magazines when they think of astrology, which I used to as well. But there is so much more to astrology that once you learn about it, I think it'll really open your mind and you'll be pretty intrigued. By the end of this video, you'll understand so much more about astrology and hopefully you'll be able to read your own birth charts. And if you can't, just send it to me and I'll read it for you. This video is going to be pretty long because I'm going to go through all of the basic parts of astrology. I won't go too far into it. I could always make more videos if you want, but I am going to have timestamps linked in the description box if there's a specific part of astrology that you do want to learn about. So definitely go and check that out if you want to. When I was younger, I did not believe in astrology at all. I am a Capricorn and I never resonated with anything about Capricorns, and I thought horoscopes were the stupidest thing in the world, and honestly I still do. But the second I found out that there was a moon sign, it changed my entire perspective. Astrology is all about learning about yourself, and I feel like we as humans have like this desire to know where we came from, what our purpose is here, and just to have some sort of guidance. We all crave some sort of guidance, and astrology is something that can really help. It won't change the BS of your life that's going on, the drama and all of that, but it can definitely give you more insight into how to deal with your drama. And I want to know your opinions about astrology at the end of this video, so definitely leave comments down below letting me know if your opinion has changed at all. So the first thing you're going to need in order to even go further into this video is to create your own birth chart. I'll leave two links in the description box of ones that are really great. One is just a basic chart in general, and the other one gives you more insight into what the chart means, but you're going to be able to do that for yourself anyway by the end of this. However, there is an app called CoStar, and you just put in your information and it'll give you your birth chart, and it actually gives you personalized horoscopes kind of based on your birth chart, which is so much more accurate. And you can add friends and stuff and compare yourselves, and it's really cool. So you can add me on CoStar too. I'm at Violetta. You guys can even message me on CoStar and ask me certain questions about your chart if you want to. That would be really fun. Definitely do that. So there are 12 zodiac signs, and the 12 signs are broken into two categories, masculine and feminine. The masculine signs are direct and energetic, and the feminine signs are receptive and magnetic. The 12 signs are also divided into triplicities. Each triplicity is an element, so earth, fire, water, and air. And these elements give fundamental characteristics of each sign. Fire signs are extremely active and very enthusiastic. Earth signs are practical and they're stable. Air signs are very intellectual and very communicative. Water signs are very emotional and intuitive. Then the three signs are divided into quadruplicates. Quadruplicity? I have no idea. One of those, that word. These three qualities are cardinal, fixed, and mutable. And this quality signifies how the sign interacts with the outside world. I am a triple cardinal sign. They are very outgoing and they are initiators. They do not care about anyone else's opinions. They are going to do what they want. It's their way or the highway. Fixed signs are very resistant to change. They are also perfecters and finishers rather than initiators. There are 4 signs that are mutable. They are flexible, versatile, and adaptable. And they're very easy to adjust to different circumstances. And then lastly, each sign is divided into 6 groups called polarities, and they are just opposites on the calendar. So basically these signs have very opposing characteristics. So lucky me, I'm a Capricorn and Cancer moon, which means that I have 2 polarities, so I constantly feel like I'm fighting myself. So when you look at your chart, you're going to see a big circle that looks like a pizza. It has 12 slices. Each slice is called a house, and each house has a very specific meaning. So right here is where your ascendant is, and we'll talk about what that is later. But everybody's ascendant is basically at 9 o'clock if this were a clock. Outside of the houses are the zodiac signs that go in a circle, and based on what your rising sign is or ascendant sign, they're the same thing, that's always where your first house is going to be, and then the signs go around the circle from there. So now we're on to what the houses mean. So the first house is the house of the self. It's the most personal and the most powerful in your chart because it represents yourself. It's the house of your outward behavior and how others will see you. It shows what you want in life and how you're going to go about achieving it. The second house is the house of money and possessions. It relates to what you own in life and what you're going to acquire in your financial situation. It tells you how you feel about money and possessions, and it also shows your earning power and your ability to handle money and what projects might be a good source of income for you in the future. The third house is the house of communication. It relates to your immediate environment in 3 areas: self-expression, day-to-day travel, and family. It controls the way you think, speak, and write. Your relationships with your brothers and sisters, aunts, uncles, neighbors are all under this house's influence. The fourth house is the house of home, both physically and mentally. It indicates the kind of home life you've had as a child, as well as what it will be like in the future. Your relationships with your parents are also influenced by this house. It also rules over the closing years of your life and what kind of security you want for yourself then. This is one of 3 mystical it's one of 3 mystical houses in your chart, as it shows what you keep protected from the outside world. So that's why it's kind of like your home internally, like where you feel comfortable. The 5th house is your house of creativity and sex. It rules over everything you do for pleasure and how you express yourself creatively. Both your sexual nature and how you feel about children are related to this house. This house also relates to entertainment, amusement, and the arts. It shows your artistic talents and how you enjoy yourself in life. The 6th house is the house of service and health. It indicates your need to help others and to be useful in the world. This house rules over how you work with other people, how you deal with employers and authority figures. It also relates to your physical and mental health, as well as different diseases you might be susceptible to. The 7th house is the house of partnership and marriage. It relates to the partner you choose in life, and it'll also indicate what kind of marriage you'll have. So if you'll get divorced, if you'll remarry, and things like that. It also relates to your partnerships in work, business, and sometimes politics. It governs your ability to harmoniously work with other people. The 8th house is the house of death and regeneration. It's the 2nd mystical house in your chart. It's also known as the house of spiritual transformation. It rules over the life forces that surround sex, birth, death, and the afterlife. It also shows what kind of legacy you want to leave in the world. The 8th house can also sometimes give information surrounding your death. It's also the house of psychic abilities and occult studies. The 9th house is the house of mental exploration as well as long-distance travel. This is the house of the higher mind. It concerns traveling to foreign countries and how the meeting of foreigners might really influence your ideas about the world. The 10th house represents your career and public standing. It rules all matters that are outside of the home, like your profession, your status in the community. It reflects your image. It's like what you aspire to be and what you will achieve. It's an outward expression of your talents, the way you accept responsibility, and it influences your material success in life. The 11th house is the house of hope, friends, and wishes. It has to do with long-term goals, dreams, and intellectual pleasures. It governs your involvement with groups that have to do with work, a profession, family, stuff like that. It also indicates what types of friendships are best for you, and it shows your ability to enjoy other people. The 12th house is the house of secrets, sorrows, and self-undoing. It's the most mystical of all of the houses. It defines the limitations that are set on your life, whether they're there naturally or you place them there through self-undoing behavior. It rules disappointments, accidents, self-defeat, unseen forces, secret enemies, escapism, asylums, hospitals, and prisons. A lot of astrologers say that it's the house of karma, so it's basically like what you're here to overcome in this lifetime, to release that karma. A lot of people who actually struggle with addictions tend to have something very powerful in their house there. This house is also associated with psychic abilities and the ability to finally discover the meaning of life. So now that the houses are done, I hope that that wasn't as long as it took to record. So now we're going to go on into the 3 signs. So the first one is the sun sign. So your sun sign is the sign that the sun was traveling through at your time of birth. The sun is the most important aspect in your chart. It controls your individuality, your distinctive style, and your drives to fulfill goals in your life. Now again, like I said, when I was a kid, I never resonated with being a Capricorn because I'm a very passive person, but I also now have come to realize that I am very determined and very passionate, but it has to be something that I feel is worth putting my drive towards. If you don't resonate with what your sun sign is, that's most likely because you have a lot of influences in other areas in your chart, especially your moon sign and rising sign, but it also depends on what house your sun sign is in. So if you look on your chart or you look on your CoStar app, it'll tell you what house your sun sign is in. So for me, the sun is in my 4th house, meaning that my Capricorn qualities are really going to show in the house of the home. I'm not going to go into what each sun sign means, but I could definitely do another video on that, which I think would be really cool because there's so much to talk about. So let me know in the comments if you do want me to do that. So some of you may have heard that you were born on the cusp of 2 signs, and this means that your sun sign takes on the qualities of the 2 different signs. However, each sign is divided into 3 decants. I have no idea how to pronounce that. I'm just going to call it 3 parts. For example, my friend Andrea was born, I think, December 22nd, which does make her a Capricorn. I'm born January 14th. She's born in the first part of Capricorn. I'm born in the 3rd part. Each part has different traits associated with it, so that also has an influence in how you show those characteristics of your sun sign. Now on to moon signs, my absolute favorite. So the sun sign represents the part of you that is most apparent on the surface. It's pretty much what other people can see. The moon sign is the part that only you really see. So a lot of people tend to really relate to their moon sign way more than their sun sign. Like me, I told you that's exactly how I got into astrology, because I was like, this is finally me. The moon in astrology stands for your emotions, instincts, your unconscious, and it can be seen as your true personality. If you know anything about psychology, the sun sign and the moon sign are like the exact same thing as Sigmund Freud's theory of the ego and the id. The moon also represents how you take in and react to your environment, since it does rule over your 5 senses. It definitely influences your receptivity to other people and how others feel about you. The moon is so influential in someone's personality. So this is another reason why 2 Capricorns, me and my friend Andrea, would be so different. It's because not only are we in different sections of Capricorn, we also have different moon signs. So we express ourselves differently. Our feelings are different. So if you're like me with your sun sign and your moon sign being polarities, like we talked about earlier, you will constantly feel conflicted with yourself, and that's when astrology can really help. If your sun and moon sign are the exact same, like my friend Michael's a double Capricorn, you will most likely have very heightened characteristics of that sign, and it will be doubly reinforced in your personality. Then you have your rising sign or your ascendant. Like I said earlier, your ascendant is the start of where your zodiac begins on the chart. Your ascendant is what you portray to the outer world, and it determines how the outer world perceives you. Whatever planet rules your ascendant sign is gonna be the planet that has the most influence in your chart. And again, we'll talk about those later on in the video. Your rising sign is the sign that was rising over the eastern horizon at the exact time and location that you were born. That's why it's so crucial to know the exact time and place you were born, or else your entire chart is going to be thrown off. Your rising sign deals with how you deal with other people and how you interact with them. And it also influences how you react to different situations that are thrown at you. It's also kind of what makes you feel the most comfortable physically. It includes behaviors that make sure that you are coping well, your way of making sure that you'll be safe no matter what different physical or mental situations you enter. It also can influence your physical appearance and your mannerisms. I'm going to give you an example of a rising sign and how it influences you through myself. So I was at a restaurant once and I was talking with a friend about astrology, of course, and the waitress comes up to us and she's very into it also, and she goes, "I bet you're a Libra rising." I didn't know much about rising signs at that time, so I said, "Why do you think that?" She said that I look very put together, my hair's done nice, my makeup's done nice, I'm dressed really nice. And you know, she guessed it right because I'm a Libra rising. Libra risings put a lot of effort into how they look as almost like a coping mechanism for kind of how they feel on the inside. We are very positive and we fantasize a lot about the future, and we're really excited for tomorrow, but we are very easily thrown into depression, especially by people who are very discouraging. Nothing upsets a Libra rising more than witnessing injustices go uncorrected. If you've ever seen the docuseries making of a murderer, that makes me want to pull my eyeballs out. I cannot deal with that kind of stuff at all. We typically have curvy bodies and rounded features, which is me. And Libra risings are ruled by the planet Venus. So that's going to be the most important planet when looking at my birth chart, because that's the planet that rules Libra. So make sure you know what your ruling planet is. So now that you've made your birth chart, which I'm hoping that you have, I'm going to go into the planets a little bit. So now that you know the signs and you know the houses, this is the most important part. So on CoStar specifically, it's easier to read. You're going to see the sign, the planet, and what house it's in. So make sure you're listening to what I say so that you'll be able to understand and interpret what the planet means and then interpret it into what that house means. That's all you got to do. So 8 other planets, as we know, revolve around the sun in a very ordered pattern. Because each planet moves at a different speed or rate in a separate path or orbit, the different combinations of placements in your chart is like endless. So at the exact moment of your birth, the moon, the earth, the sun, and all other planets were in a very specific arrangement. And this arrangement will not be repeated for 4,320,000 years. So you might be like, well, what about twins? Twins even can have very small differences in their chart. That shift may be small and they'll be very similar charts, but then twins are also very similar. So each planet has a very, very specific influence in astrology, and it governs a certain area of your personality or approach to life. There's also a few asteroids and things like that that are also influenced in your chart. I'm not going to talk about those in this video. So the first planet is Mercury. Mercury makes life very understandable. It's the planet of intelligence. Are you very outgoing? Can you have a conversation with literally anyone, or do you only open up to just your friends? Mercury is the planet of mental activities, communication, and intellectual energy. It reflects how you see, hear, and assimilate information. So mine is Aquarius in my 5th house. So in order to read my chart, I would have to tailor what Mercury means into my 5th house of creativity and sex. Venus is the planet of love and pleasure. It rules over your capacity to express affection and to enjoy beauty. It lends your personality to be very alluring and desirable. And it tells you what kind of sex appeal you have. It tells you what kind of lovers you attract. Are you often disappointed by love? All of those questions can be answered by looking at where Venus is in your chart. Venus rules over love affairs, art, beauty, harmony, and friendship. Venus makes your life beautiful. The placement of Venus influences how you relate to the opposite sex or whether you're popular and make friends easily. Mars is the planet of physical energy. It governs your sex drive, your forcefulness, and aggression. It's what spurs you into action. Do you lose your temper quickly? Are you calm and then you explode, like me? In conflict, are you cool-tempered or are you superheated? Are you competitive? Are you a fighter or a flighter or a freezer, like me? I freeze. Jupiter is a planet of good luck, optimism, success, and generosity. Jupiter brings joy to your life. Are you a generous person? Do you seem to attract success? The position of Jupiter in your chart can indicate what kind of fortunate opportunities lie ahead, like what areas of your life will be most successful. Whether you attract money and possessions, and what kind of career would be best for you. Jupiter signifies what good things come to you very easily. But unless you put Jupiter's gifts to good use, they can disappear in a snap of a finger. Any Capricorns about to hear this, you probably relate. Saturn is the planet of responsibility and symbolized by hard work. A person's character is strengthened through trial and tribulation. It's been said that Saturn disciplines us until we are able to discipline ourselves. It's the planet of diligence, self-control, and limitation. I call it the planet of misfortune. It teaches patience, stability, maturity, and realism. It's very stern, reserved, restricted. Saturn teaches us the lessons that we are meant to learn here in life. But in the grand scheme of things, Saturn does not give us more than we can handle, even though you might not think that at the time. But what we learn under Saturn's influence is something that we carry for the rest of our lives because it is so influential. Because Saturn makes a big ol' mark on your life. Saturn's position in your chart indicates how you will accept responsibility, whether you're self-disciplined, and what delays and oppositions and hardships you can expect to encounter. And Saturn's effect is to delay rewards as long as possible until they're earned. Uranus. I'm not going to pronounce it how most Americans pronounce it because it's actually Uranus. This is a planet of change and originality. It symbolizes the element of surprise in your life. Uranus brings about sudden opportunities and changes in your life. It awakens, shocks, and revolutionizes. You often take action that has no rhyme or reason. Are you attracted to an unusual line of work? Or are you attracted to very colorful people? Do you think that you're more of an inventive thinker than those around you? If so, you probably have Uranus very strongly in your chart. This is one of the few modern planets, meaning that it was only discovered in the 1700s, so the ancients didn't know about it, but that doesn't mean that it didn't have a huge influence on their lives. People may be attracted to you because of your far out ideas, and you may even be a little bit psychic. In addition to the personal meaning in your chart, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are the 3 generational planets because they do move fairly slow around the sun and through the zodiac. But for those of us who have it in the same sign, it's going to be different for our houses. So on a personal level, definitely look at where yours is in your chart. So the planet's journey through the zodiac corresponds with new discoveries of science, and it's also the ruler of the new age that we are in, the age of Aquarius. So then we have Neptune. Neptune is the planet of mystery and illusion. Neptune represents your dreamlike and mystical qualities. Sometimes it's referred to as the planet of bewitchment. Do you have a fantasy life? Have you been told that there's like a hypnotic quality about you? Do you feel extreme compassion for the suffering of others? Are you interested in the occult and psychic phenomenon? In astrology, Neptune is the planet of idealism and spirituality. It rules over a wide domain of human activity, from movies, drama, dance, poetry, to hypnosis, anesthesia, hospitals, prisons, and drug addiction. The position of Neptune in your chart indicates what kind of goals and ideas you have, how psychic and visionary you are, and also what kind of ESP ability you may have. Many astrologers believe that Neptune connects us to a higher plane of consciousness. When the planet is prominent in someone's chart, that person is likely to be involved in mysticism, psychic phenomenon, dream interpretation, all of the above. It also has a strong generational pull. It determines how you and your generation will make history. So Neptune was in Capricorn from 1984 to 1995, which means that for me, it was in Capricorn. So as a generation, we make use of the previous generation's ideas by really putting them into action, particularly in science, medicine, and chemistry. It gives us creative insight into things of the earth. So a lot of us are very passionate about like holistic healing. Lastly, we have Pluto. Whether it's a planet or not is whatever, but it still has a huge influence in astrology, as well as like asteroids and stuff like that too. So Pluto, for all intents and purposes, is a planet, and it's a planet of transformation. Wherever it sits in your chart will kind of give you like an epiphany of sorts. Pluto's action brings to life things that are hidden in the depths of your subconscious. It releases dormant fears. It's also the planet of death and rebirth. It totally wipes the slate clean. So my Pluto is in Scorpio. I'm sure a lot of you have it in Scorpio as well. It's from 1983 to 1995. If you were born from 1995 to 2008, it would be in Sagittarius. Pluto in Scorpio is scary. During this time, like the Berlin Wall fell, Yugoslavia was like torn apart, and during Pluto's slow little transit through Scorpio, we had an issue of worldwide terrorism. Pluto was at home in the Scorpio sign. Scorpio rules sex, birth, death, regeneration. But Pluto's journey through Scorpio gave us technology of like test tube babies, surrogate parenting, cloning animals, and genetic engineering. The AIDS virus was also a big issue during this time. It still is, but it was very prominent at that time. But then again, we all have our personal influences of what Pluto is to us in our own charts. By now, you should be able to read your own birth chart. Leave comments down below letting me know what you think. What are your thoughts on astrology now that you've learned about all of this stuff rather than it just being like your sun sign? If you're not subscribed to my channel, but you do enjoy my videos, go ahead and click that subscribe button. I would love for you to hang around. Also, be sure to follow me on my Instagram at Violetta so I can talk to you guys over there. And I'll see you guys very soon with another video. Bye!
Don't pretend you're sorry, even if you're crying.